Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is April the 23rd, 2023. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, with high hopes. As for me, doing pretty good. It's a nice little lazy Sunday. Food corner from the other day. I got Freddy's, was it steak burgers? They sell their stuff too. They like sell hot dogs and also custard. What else do they sell? That might be it, but it was all very yummy what I got. I ordered a bacon double steak burger with cheese curds. Well, my friend ordered that. Then also I got this concrete thing, which essentially is like the frozen custard. I got a Reese's Pieces thing. So it was really yummy. What else was there? And then I got onion rings. And their onion rings are pretty good. Now, I would say like I'd rate it all really good. Like I said, it was all nice. I'd say it's kind of comparable to a Culver's if you've had that, and if you haven't had Culver's, it's kind of like Steak and Shake, and it's really like Steak and Shake in the sense they both have the shoestring fries. I know I'm not a big fan of that, but I found out you can put like they have like a nacho cheese option, so there's that. If you want to go nuts there, do it up. Maybe there's some more things you can add to it too. I'm not sure. But let's see. That's the food corner. We can go ahead and get into some news from ABC News. Charges dropped against Alec Baldwin in fatal onset Rust shooting. So this kind of went as I expected. They have officially dropped charges on Alec Baldwin. Now, they're leaving them open to potentially charge him in the future, but I don't know. That seems unlikely. Baldwin, who is 65, had been charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter after fatally shooting cinematographer Helena Hutchins, 42, on the New Mexico set of The Western in 2021. The actor was practicing a cross draw when the gun fired, striking the cinematographer and Joel Souza, who suffered a non-life-threatening injury. Let's see, but Hannah Gutierrez is still being charged right now. Like I said in earlier episodes, they had dropped the enhancement charges they were planning on filing. Also, it looks like that there is a new prosecuting team that kind of maybe was like the biggest reason on why they decided to drop the charges, because it was like seemingly like right after that. Let's see. His hearing came days after Santa Fe District Attorney Mary Carmack Outwies announced she was stepping away from prosecuting the case. The move followed State Representative Andrea Reeb also stepping down as special prosecutor in the case. In their place, District Attorney appointed Carrie Morrissey and Jason Lewis to serve as special prosecutors. They also said, this was Morrissey and Lewis said, new facts were revealed that demand further investigation and forensic analysis in the case. Now, I was coming into work, and as I come into work, there's always the Good Morning America playing. And they actually had this case going, and so I stopped what I was doing and I looked. And they were saying something to the effect of that I guess the prosecution was going to reveal or had, shown that like, hey, the gun was actually faulty and it was potentially possible to be fired or misfired without pulling a trigger. So that was very big. Like I had reported and thought that the FBI had even tested this. So maybe they had missed that or something had came up to reveal it otherwise. But that would obviously be very big because Alec Baldwin had said time after time, I didn't pull the trigger. Like, I'm a professional, da 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 da. And it has, people in the industry have come out and said, hey, like, I've worked with Alec Baldwin on this set or that set, and he has been very professional about anything that required live firing of that nature. We've also talked about it's crazy that there were even real rounds on the set, which, kind of falls back on to Gutierrez. And there's another guy who I don't know if I'm necessarily going to find here because we're kind of cruising along. The assistant director, David Halls, he was also involved in handling of the weapon, but he's already on like unsupervised probation for essentially doing a plea deal. He was sentenced to 6 months probation, unsupervised. So, he's already kind of out of the picture. So the only one really fighting for their life right now is Gutierrez. We'll see how that, trial or whatever shakes out, or maybe she winds up pleading. But like I said, I'm just not surprised that Baldwin is off the hook here. I mean, I think he's still under a few civil lawsuits, maybe, or a couple, I'm not sure. So yeah, we'll see how things shake out there. But let's go ahead and move along. From the Associated Press, SpaceX giant rocket explodes minutes after launch from Texas. So I gotta say, as a hater of Elon Musk, but a lover of science and cool technology and stuff like that, I could say that this whole situation, this whole article, whatever, is nothing but a win all around. Everyone gets to eat here. So let's go ahead and get into it. SpaceX giant new rocket exploded minutes after blasting off on its first test flight Thursday and crashed into the Gulf of Mexico. It was a very big, spectacular fucking event. Let's see, the nearly 400-foot or 120-meter Starship carried no people or satellites, but this thing had like 33 engine boosters. It was like super cool, like stainless steel thing. It was supposed to, I believe, go around the world, wind up just crashing in Hawaii and just, whatever. Like, this is a test thing to see like, hey, we can do it. So the win here, even though this thing exploded, it didn't actually make it. It only actually lasted 4 minutes. This was also after, some launching issues that held off on Monday. We wind up trying again. Boom. Successful demolition because it's self-destructed. But that being said, it making it off the launch pad was a big win for everyone. And it was also just super cool for anyone to kind of come and see. This is a rocket launching, it's some October sky shit. I don't know. Very cool. Very neat. And as a hater, I got to see Elon Musk take an L. Like, even though he's, I see this nothing as a win, whatever. Cool. But your rocket exploded. And also, I think this led to $13 billion loss in 24 hours between the SpaceX rocket explosion and disappointing Tesla earnings. So Tesla had been on kind of an up because they were selling their cars for like a price that was like very cheap for, what they're supposed to be worth. And they were kind of making, some positive trends for that. But I guess they've kind of crested now. And, all of more or less Elon Musk's value is kind of tied up in like stocks and things of that nature. So if they take like a discouraging hit because like, oh, this thing happened or that thing happened, we're not fucking with you, well, then his net worth drops tremendously. So let's see. Done enough there. My little hater zone, hater corner. Actually, no, I'm not done. Let's extend. Let's expand the territory. From NBC News, son of wrestling legend, the $1 Million Man, charged in welfare scandal involving Brett Favre. Federal prosecutors say Theodore Ted DiBiase, who cares, Jr., received millions in state aid intended for needy families, but that the ex-wrestler used the funds to buy a vehicle and a boat. Let's see. Former pro wrestler Theodore Ted DiBiase Jr., the son of WWE legend known as the $1 Million Man, has been charged with fraud and theft of federal funds in connection with a Mississippi welfare scandal that has embroiled the NFL great Brett Favre. We have talked about said scandal before. Essentially, Brett Favre was like hitting up like politicians and like these aid workers for this charity. Nancy New is a big factor here. One of the people he talked to, essentially just trying to say, hey, I'm trying to secure some money. I'm trying to get some money, and I want this to like not fall back on me. And essentially, they funneled this charity money that was supposed to go to needy families, potentially like help schools do like scholarship shit. He funneled this into personal endeavors like building a volleyball like gym thing for his like daughter's school, and probably like paying for her school, shit like that. So he essentially just funneled this money for his own endeavors, his own self. I think that was around like $3 million he got in total, maybe. Now this DiBiase guy, DiBiase Jr., he ran it up for 3.2 million. And now Favre isn't necessarily implicated in this lawsuit that's going on now, though I believe DeBase's brother has already pleaded guilty to a count of conspiracy to defraud the government in connection to the welfare scandal. So, and also Brett Favre is like being sued by the state for like a specific other issue or whatever. So let's see. Let me read a little bit here. Court records in a related civil case show that Favre successfully lobbied state officials to grant $3.2 million for a drug company in which he was a shareholder, and $5 million for the volleyball arena. We already talked about that. Whatever. The Justice Department says DiBiase was paid more than $3 million from entities funded by federal welfare funds for social services that DiBiase did not provide and did not intend to provide. DiBiase allegedly used these federal funds to buy a vehicle and a boat, and for the down payment or the purchase of a house, among other expenditures. The boat is a really unnecessary flex here. I mean, everything else just kind of seems like, I'm just a rich guy, middle class, upper middle class now because I'm not doing anything with my life, just trying to make it, probably was something flashy, I bet. So yeah, I mean, obviously very fucking fucked up. This money was supposed to go to, help out people who really needed it. And instead it went to these rich has-beens who are just trying to fucking grift now to keep their living afloat, their little fancy little lifestyle. That's I don't know. This shit's a fucking joke to me. Fuck them, fucking losers, and I hope that they at least get run up for the full extent of the law. But we'll more coverage comes, I will definitely try to cover it. All right, we got one more actually before I let you go. So I'm gonna take my classic little break here. Do. Blast off. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, from the BBC News. Top. I don't know where this accent came from. Top ultra runner Josiah Zachariski disqualified for using a car in a race. Now, I apparently have found out that this is something that people have done in history in races. This is not a new thing, but it is crazy to do in this day and age because technology and just the idea of tracking and keeping up with people and their times is just, it's way too up to date for you to try this kind of fucking shit. You look crazy. But a top Scottish ultramarathon runner has been disqualified from a race for using a car during part of the route. Josiah Zachariski finished third in the 2023 GB Ultras Manchester to Liverpool 50-mile race, but is thought to have traveled by car for 2.5 miles. The 47-year-old GP from Dumfries is understood to have been tracked on GPS mapping data covering a mile of the race in just 1 minute 40 seconds. It's like they just covered it, dude. Like all of this is covered. Every point to point to point to point to point. Like, come on. Like, you were bold as hell to try this. Um, but apparently, doctor. I love how they add the doctor at this point to understand that she's not just a runner. She is a doctor. This person has a degree. And they're like, nah, I can cheat this. We'll get away with it. We'll get away with it. But I guess she was like, oh, I was sick. I wasn't well. But it's like, at the end of the day, you crossed the finish line. You didn't bow out. You didn't quit. And they go to show some of her accolades. She's, let's see. She's racing for Great Britain in the IAU World 100-kilometer championships. She won individual silver in 2011 and bronze in 2014 and 2015. So that's a big decoration right there. She represented Team Scotland in a marathon at the Glasgow 2014 Commonwealth Games. She's done blah, 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 and yada, yada, yada. Excuse me. So she's clearly trying to like uphold a good reputation. She didn't want to have a bad finish. And so she said, oh, okay, I'll settle for a humble third. Like, she didn't even win. I don't know, man. I just think if you really weren't up to the task, you really couldn't have done it. That's okay. It's okay to bow out gracefully. It's all right. No one would have noticed. It would have been fine. But she wanted to get the dub. She wanted to get something close, get a medal, whatever, high accolade. And yeah, I'd say a bitter and a yes, because that's definitely a stain on your shit. But yeah, that's all I got. It's a shorter episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love you. Bye. Mwah.